humans can go to the deepest of the deepest levels, but God always has checks in place, and I think the Western world is due for a check. I think so.
Okay. Last but not least, I want us to have a look at the advert that Boots have released ahead of their Christmas advertisements. Another company to fall victim to the woke mentality, but let's take a look at this advert before we talk about it.
They wanna know. Sugar plum, snowball, come in. Shall we? How do I look?
Slaying.
Maya, fabulous.
Really?
She'll love that.
Robin.
Oh, that's very them. Next. Marvelous. Incoming. Good. This one's mine.
We're out of bows.
We are never out of bows. Last one. You thought it was all him.
I don't understand.
What do you not understand?
No, you go.
No. Let me start with that. What do you not understand?
I just don't. I don't understand how a bunch of creatives got in a room and came up with that, and scripted it, and did storyboards, and shot it, and got actors together and music for that. That's insane.
So let me highlight
the crack on
the big three. Black Mrs. Santa Claus, obviously.
Okay.
The whole thing covered and plastered in LGBTQ. Right?
Yeah, I noticed that.
And a lazy Santa, a lazy man, right? A take on a, man is just sat there sleeping, not doing anything. Followed by the finishing touch of, you thought it was all him, So to say that it's not just all about Santa, there's a bunch of us in the background that are working to make all these things happen. Now then, I felt it worthwhile to talk about. For a very short amount of time, because there isn't really anything to say. I think we should start a section on the world has gone mad. And then we just talk about all the things that the world has gone mad on.
That'll be too long of a section, I think.
So here's how I wanted to take it, right? If we remove the LGBTQ stuff from it, or even let's say the black Claus, Mrs. Claus from it, right? The notion of, yes, Santa delivers all the Christmas presents on Christmas Eve and things like that. Again, if you go to our earlier videos, you understand where we stand on Christmas. So please do not get this mistaken for us advocating for Christmas. We're just having a conversation in this context, right? But let's assume that was the case, yeah? There's nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, again, going back to the foundation of what God created between a man and a woman, you know that saying. I found myself thinking of that saying: behind every great man, there's a great woman, or something like that. Yeah. If we strip it down a little bit, can we at least take that message away from that? Can we at least say that this is the positive message that is encouraging family units?
Well, no, not in the way they presented it. I mean, if that was the message that they wanted to get across, they could have done it in a much better way. That shows the teamwork and coordination and the energy between Mr. Claus and Mrs. Claus. They could have done that and espouse that message you're talking about. Even communicate the fact that behind every great man, there's a great woman. You could have done that in a way that doesn't paint Santa as a man. He was asleep the whole time.
Literally snoring.
He was asleep the whole time and just woke up
1 minute before.
1 minute before. So already there was an agenda behind that, and that agenda wasn't a positive, men and women work together and there's goodness here. No, that wasn't the message. So I don't think there's anything positive that can be taken away from it, unless you're someone who is anti-men. That's to be honest. Unless you're anti-men, you look at this and think, what on earth?
Now, these kind of adverts have come around in the past year or so. I remember we discussed one at the Super Bowl as well. They are literally coming, and we thought, you remember the beer in America when they did that thing with
Dylan.
Was it Mavoni or something like that?
I remember Dylan.
And we were saying that the more they lose money, the more they might realize and come back to reality. I want to say this could be one of many that we're going to see this festive season. Hopefully, I'm completely wrong about that.
Of what? Of companies going on walk and doing this?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Do you know what? I'm actually surprised because I'm watching and thinking, this is so 2023. No, I'm thinking this is so outdated. It's weird to say because the notion of wokeness hasn't been in the public mentality very long, but it feels outdated to me. It feels like they missed the mark. It feels like they're too late to the party. It feels like mid 2023. I feel like this would have got like claps and the mama God boots is so forward thinking. Now I'm thinking. In fact, let me have a look at the comments. Now I'm thinking.
They are definitely boycotting.
They missed the boat.
Again, just to hone it in a little bit. What is our responsibility as Christians?
In
so in the sense, in the context of, are we to boycott boots as well, or do we just not care about it? We go buy what we need to buy. We go do what we need to do despite the advert. Because obviously the response of the world is always, that's it, I'm not going to Boots ever again. And that's how this will end up losing money. But at the same time, if I go to Boots and buy myself like some paracetamol or some spray or whatever, does that mean that I'm in support of this aspect of them? Because they are pushing an agenda. They're trying to say that we support this mentality, we support this life, we support these people, we support this society, basically, So if I'm taking my hard-earned money and purchasing from them, am I contributing to that? What again should be the reaction of Christians when it comes to these sort of things?
Good question. Very good question. This is what I was saying about how we've outsourced a lot of our lives to corporations.
Don't send us back to the jungle, please.
No.
Just ask the questions.
The point is, because we've outsourced a lot of our lives to corporations, we find ourselves in these dilemmas.
Okay.
Because we need soap. We need perfumes.
I'm going to start doing that introduction for you now.
So it's like, because we've outsourced our... So yeah, now we ask, should I boy... Because I'm thinking, the advert is not... It's not too offensive to me for me to think about boycotting.
But then is that just because you are too versed or verged in that world, that's something that should be offensive is not?
No, but okay. So
should we not be lamenting for these things as
okay. So if you had to summarize what we've just seen to an agenda, what would that agenda be for you? And yeah, okay. I'll ask that first and then I would say my next point. So what would that agenda be for you?
They're basically trying to push into the society to accept the LGBTQ community, that is normal.
Well, yes, but I would say that's a side point, because if that was the case, LGBT would have been on the forefront. So for example, instead of that black woman, maybe we would have had, like, I don't know, someone from RuPaul's Drag Race or something. But in this case, because for me, it seems like they're focusing on women. It's not to say that. So like what she said, and then you thought it was just her. You pressed the speaker. No, it's fine now.
Okay.
She said, you thought it was just him. Also showing that obviously everyone we saw in the advert was a woman, besides the men that were masquerading as women. But everyone we saw in there was women. So for me, I'm understanding that they're saying, oh no, women are here. Women actually do stuff. Women get stuff done. In this context, it's not just Santa. There's a whole bunch of women behind him. That's not a terrible message. It's not an overly offensive message, because women have always been there. They do the most. They do matter. Of course they matter. Of course they matter.
But do they have to matter at the expense of men? Like the point that you made at the beginning, there could have been a nice way of doing it.
No.
So either way, there is a bit of negativity that can be received in the viewers, in the sense that there could be a young girl there now growing up saying, you know what, men are useless, I hate men, and that could then turn them into the sexual orientation to be a lesbian, for example, because it's been pushed down on them to say that, you know what, men are lazy, men are useless, you know, we are just as good as men. And that affects the even for somebody who is married, for example, if they start feeding on that a lot, now they're turning and looking at their husband, well, why are you at the head of the house? I'm going to be the head of the house. No, I'll make the last decision. No, I wear the pants. No, I do this, you know, because now we're being told that men are useless.
Well, okay. If we're talking about how they went about doing it, I can agree that it wasn't, it's the extreme form of that messaging. Fine. But the question I was asking myself is the messaging that they're trying to get across, which is the fact that women matter, because for some reason in their heads, women haven't mattered for the longest time. And I can understand how certain experiences with women in the past may lead them to believe that. Fine. So for them that say, no, women matter, we're here, we're doing stuff. Can I get on board with that messaging? Yes, I can get on board with that messaging. Can I get on board with that messaging in this way? No, because like you said, now you're trying to escape negativity by perpetuating more negativity. That's what I said. So because of that reason, I don't know if it's boycott worthy. Personally,
so you do believe that there are some things that are
100%.
In this context, an advert that was, let's say, advocating for, let's say, something that is huge. 100%. You would say Christians do not go there.
100%. So for example, let's say like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, let's say British Gas for whatever reason decided to do an advert in which they were perpetuating the idea that like transgenderism is okay for whatever reason,
or painting Christ as gay.
Oh, very good point. Yeah, very good example. Yeah, something like that. If let's say like British Gas for whatever reason in the advert they paint Christ as, I'm sorry. Yes,
even though they're the cheapest gas providers. In this context, let's assume they were the cheapest. You're paying more.
Pay more. Move to their competitors. Move to their competitor. In fact, move to the most expensive competitor just to spite them. So yes, there is certain messaging that okay. The way I view it sometimes, right, is that sometimes there's messaging for something and there's messaging against something, right? So some people take the position of doing things purposely against Christianity, against God, against the faith. I take great issue with that. Others take the position of doing something for their movement that they're trying to push against. I take less of an issue with that. I could have an issue with the movement.
Do you?
Yeah.
I still need myself a beer.
Exactly. I could have an issue with the movement, but I take less issue with what they're doing. But if you purposely come after the faith, then I think...
Then you believe it's a responsibility of us Christians to also take action.
To definitely...
The action that we can.
Yeah. I think so.
Ladies
but
and
I mean, from that video, would you say that's boycott worthy?
I mean... I wouldn't say so, no. I wouldn't say so. Do I support, just like you said, do I support the advert and the way it's been portrayed? No. But if you still need some paracetamol and Boots is the closest place to you, I don't see how you purchasing the thing that you need from that is in you in any way saying that I support this advert. So yeah. I wouldn't say it's boycott worthy. But here's why that's interesting in closing. There are so many things that I think it's worth bringing to light to show how Christians ought to conduct themselves, because I think we are getting trapped, getting lost in certain things, and a bit of light needs to be shed on them. And I think Offbeat POV is the right platform for us to shed that kind of light. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will swiftly, this is purely to the people that are watching us on Rumble. We are going to swiftly move on to Chin's weekly thoughts. Now, he hasn't done this, but let me just give a little bit of an intro as to why these weekly thoughts are important.